fucking know about the ethics of quantum teleportation. Like, I mean, the ethics of, you know, the singularity and the culture of, like, hey, we have the direction. But no, it's like ethics in video games is like how the TARDIS flies, you know, or nerdiness within the nerdiness within nerdiness is so fucking awesome, yay! Because I love ethics, I love morality, and I happen issue, okay? Like, the ethics of sexual objectification and the ethics of essentially capitalism are that was every week, and today we are going to discuss this aspect about ethics in video games culture or whatever. Like, it's about ethics in games journalism. Ethics in games journalism is a big deal. It is a big deal in journalism.
Always been about the consumer. Always been about ethics in games journalism. Like, just because.
Which would be interesting, as then you go down the ethics of, okay, well, we're not going to be doing robotics so much, what are we going to be doing? It's not racism because of freedom of speech. It's not sexism because there is an issue with ethics in games journalism. Yeah. Bravo to all of you for giving a shit about ethics in journalism. Bravo. Realise why it hasn't worked. We are going to analyse the ethics of this situation. And we are going to encourage discourse
of, you know, raising livestock, right? And there is the ethics of, you know, raising livestock, and that you want the regulation there.
You know, if he could get someone on side, he didn't much care about the ethics, you know? And
want me to, but I'm not gonna fucking do that. I have standards. I have ethics and morality, and I am not gonna fucking go any.
You know, we live in a time when the ethics of any kind of journalism are very dodgy. I mean, we see it all. An analysis or a discussion of ethics in video games, and oh my god, I realise what I just said, the Great Dark Gamersgate. This is a movement that has the slogan, it's about ethics in games journalism.
Jeremy Corbyn is a man of principle, is a man of morality, is a man of ethics and virtue, and he...
Funnily enough, we will be talking about the ethics of such things later on. So, okay, within the first 5 minutes, you've got a fucking debate about fucking the ethics of drone strikes. You know, the fact that it's taking very, very strange time in that regard. So yes, we do have a big issue with ethics in games journalism. But then to the fans who will judge them if their standards and ethics and morality don't stand up. Okay? Because here is the thing. They are fun explorations of the sort of the multiverse and of the ethics and the morality and for a movement campaigning for ethics in video games journalism that is powered by that got news stories, that got people giving a shit. So now Gamersgate and ethics in video games journalism is a massive fucking... So they will ask for smaller amounts, or there's all kinds of complicated ethics with regards to this in a capitalist.
So fucking what? Like, do you think my morals and my reason and my ethics are less important than my capacity to earn?
And the spotlight that gets, because ethics in games journalism is not something that the wider world gives a shit about. not entirely off topic, since it's about, you know, the ethics of, you know, how one cult of personality but leads into and remain the place that gives a shit about ethics and research. Okay, like, just when some to believe Gamersgate was about ethics in games journalism, and so his podcast was fair enough to convince me that the Let's Playing genre get on a Skype call to discuss spoilers and ethics in Let's Plays. And now a fat academics have argued their points in and out because you've had ethicists and philosophers and so a hate mob that has it as its slogan, ethics in games journalism. There are going to genuinely be people attracted. This is all about, to a certain extent, the Sylph Pill and the kind of ethics of the exploitation of the Sylphs, and how, you know, just to a brand, not just to news, but to the people with standards and ethics and morality, and to the fans who crush all of the women that we disagree with under the banner of ethics in games. Okay, so that okay, come to the side. To that group thinking, oh well, it's about ethics in games journalism. I like ethics in games journalism. Being rock stars for just raising awareness of ethics in journalism, and like, you are doing your job properly, and in fact, you can play it, someone can let's play it, and they can show it off. We live in a time when ethics in game journalism is very, very asked to give a shit about ethics, and that is to be applauded. Bravo, sirs! Bravo, sirs and madams, and about, you know, quantum teleportation and the ethics of consent and all this stuff. Ultimately, what it's about, what the idea of ethics in games journalism, and ethics in games journalism is sort of what, but deciding to talk about ethics in games journalism when Gamersgate was going on, all of these Polish people coming over here with their work ethics. You know, if we're going to talk about the blame game, if we're going to, you know, pick someone to brief kind of, let's talk seriously about ethics in video games, and do you think you did anything wrong, and talking to the people, gamers decided, no, you know what, this is about gaming ethics. Okay, and I'm not going to get into who's right or wrong, because I really can't. From series 1 of Doctor Who, it's like focusing on the people and the ethics as opposed to telling a decent story. Talking about sort of political wills and ethics and stuff like that. But suffice to say, right, pragmatism and gaming journalism has a higher standard of ethics. Thank you, my Lord Total Biscuit. Thank you. You should be jumping. Well, why aren't you jumping? Because, like, I have reason and morality and ethics, and, you know, I'm currently in, you know, Millennial Woe seems to be someone who seems to give somewhat of a shit about ethics. Admittedly, he then ruins that perspective by then who has, you know, work ethics, you know. And then, of course, you know, the recession happens. The crowd. I like the reviewers. I like the discussions of ethics and morality, because I'm that kind of guy. You know, I'm the kind of shit. This is an offence to ethics in games journalism. We must do something about it. And I want to talk about the ethics of Let's Play as a medium. Because Let's Play is very unique in that it is a... He's a journalist! He gives a shit about ethics in journalism! Like, that shouldn't be a taboo! Surely, there should be kind of in-depth, thorough examination of the ethics of this shit. And except, he is also a champion for ethics in games journalism. Which means he's a champion for ethics in journalism. And heck, I don't fucking know about the ethics of quantum teleportation. Like, which means he's a champion for ethics in journalism. Full stop. Which means that, you know,